New developments in the war in Ukraine today. Ukraine's military says its forces have driven back Russian attacks in 4 areas near the front line east of Kramatorsk. That's not all. The Ukrainian military says it also successfully hit 10 Russian weapon and military hardware targets in the Zaporizhia region. Ukrainian President Zelensky is calling on newly drafted Russians to help Ukraine and sabotage Russia's war efforts. CNN's Ben Wiedemann is in Ukraine and has more on Zelensky's appeal.
As Russia's so-called partial mobilization gathers pace and runs into some resistance, President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling upon those who are summoned to serve to do everything they can to sabotage the Kremlin's war effort. In his nightly address, he called upon Russian soldiers in Ukraine to sabotage and interfere with military operations, to pass information to Ukrainian intelligence, and to defect at the first opportunity. Zelensky pledged that those who surrender will be treated, in his words, in a civilized manner, and if they so desire, will not be returned to Russia in the event of a prisoner exchange. Meanwhile, Russia is accusing Ukrainian forces of shelling near the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe, and currently under Russian control. Ukraine has yet to respond to the Russian allegations. I'm Ben Wiedemann, CNN, reporting from Kharkiv.
And joining me now is a Ukrainian Army sergeant who just came from fighting in the Kharkiv counteroffensive. Sergeant Andriana Arechta is joining us now. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Yes.
It's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's an honor to have you with us. Ukraine has been making a lot of progress in taking on the Russians, especially in recent weeks. It's been really impressive to everybody around the world. What can you tell us about the situation on the ground? Does it feel like you're making a lot of progress?
Yes, Jim, you know, we have a progress with Kharkiv counteroffensive, but it costs a lot of losses and limitations. So during liberating our lands, we saw mass grave of people, we saw tortured people, and the picture is not so positive. That's why our delegation is here to ask and to say thankful, to express our gratitude to United Nations for support that of Ukraine.
Well, and you make a good point, because while, you know, back here in Washington, it's easy for us to say, oh, well, things are going so well for Ukraine because of the way you're handling the Russians right now. But at the same time, as you were just saying, your forces are on the ground and you're finding evidence of atrocities. What has that been like when you see signs of torture, when you see signs of human rights abuses, as you're on the ground encountering this?
You know,
these are your fellow countrymen.
Yeah, during liberating of our lands, we understand that we are fighting for 3 priceless things: life, homeland, and freedom. That's why we pay such huge prices for our freedom, for protection of our homeland, and we pay this by our lives. So it is a critical moment now in Ukraine to liberate other lands, because people are their hostages, and that's why we are asking United States to provide Ukraine with modern weaponry to give us a chance to liberate these people, because like they are hostages, and civilians that are surviving on the occupied territory, they must be free.
And I know you've been trying to deliver this message to members of Congress, and you've been bringing this coin along with you, which you've brought with us, or brought to us to share with us. Tell us about this coin. It's a very special coin.
Yeah, so we've met bipartisan group of congressmen and senators, and I explained them that this is a coin made from destroyed Russian tanks during counteroffensive in Kharkiv.
Let's hold that up here, yes.
Yep.
There we go.
Like, this is a part of Russian tanks.
So that's a part of a Russian tank.
Yeah.
So your forces destroyed a tank.
Yeah.
And then, let's hold it up one more time. You destroyed the Russian tank, and then you essentially harvested the metal from the tank. You took metal from the tank and made a coin out of it.
Yeah, and we presented this coin to your senators and to your congressmen. And I said during the presentation of this coin that I changed this coin For one Abrams, just for me, because I want to become an operator of modern tank. I am an operator of US weapons like Stinger, Switchblade, but we need more. We need ground air defense system, we need tank, we need fighter jets just to liberate and to protect our civilians and our homeland.
And do you feel like you're getting, obviously, from the point of view of the American government, from the White House's point of view, they're saying we're providing Ukraine with as much weaponry as we possibly can. There are concerns inside the administration if they step up that assistance too much, that it could be a provocative move and provoke the Russians into a situation that the U.S. and its allies don't want. Do you feel like, I guess I have a couple of questions, do you feel like you do have enough assistance coming in right now? Are you concerned that it's going to run out? And what do you say to those worries that, well, if we give them too much assistance, if we provide them with too much firepower, advanced weaponry, that it could provoke the Russians into a larger conflict?
So,
I know it's a lot to ask. But
so, first one, it's that we need more modern weaponry just to liberate and to protect our country. Because Russia understands only actions, strong actions. The answer of congressmen and senators was the answer of support Ukraine, but we believe in action. Courage is to act. And about Russia will be provoked, so I can say that Russia is a state of sponsor of terrorism. I saw on my eyes how Russians used phosphor bomb, cluster weapon, chemical bombs. That's why we need the strongest answer of the West will be providing Ukraine with modern weaponry that will help us to gain victory faster.